Thank you, Antonella. First of all, my name is Chiara Certoma. I'm the coordinator of PartArt for Ocean and Water from the Sapienza University, and we are here connected our project partners. We have Sapienza people, we have T6 ecosystem who is managing the calls. We have Epica who will manage the accelerator. We have Raw News who will take care of the video and visual product of the project, and we have CMMI who is responsible for the scientific content of the project, and Regenera, who is managing the communication of the project. So let's start with the first overview on PartArt for Ocean and Water. Okay, next slide. Okay, welcome to PartArt. Of course, this is the agenda for today's meeting, today's webinar. We are going through PartArt core concept. Then you will be introduced to the working of the accelerator program and challenge of the third open call. We will review together, we will see together the eligibility criteria for taking part in the competition and the submission process. We'll give you some tips about the financial guidelines, the financial aspects that you may have already went through in the guidelines and the contract. And then we have time for question and answer. Next slide, please. What is PartArt for Ocean and Water? PartArt for Ocean and Water is a Horizon Europe project, a collaborative initiative which is aimed at harnessing the power of participatory art and creativity to promote awareness and action toward ocean and water sustainability. What we provide funding, we provide training, mentoring, and networking opportunities to participatory art initiatives. Next, please. What is participatory art according to PartArt for Ocean and Water? Is a process that emphasizes the proactive role and the participation of citizens, communities, and society in creative, innovative, and artistic projects. Participatory art, in this sense, is seen as a process that empowers citizens and communities through the reinforcement or building of social bonds with ocean and water. Engaging citizens means creating commitments, creating actions through different stages of the creative process, and is critical for the awareness, for the knowledge, for promoting societal change, for strengthening the knowledge, the connection, and the care of our ocean and waters. We can provide you with some example in activities in which citizens can be involved. This includes project idea development, participation in artwork or creative work development, participation in the research process, which includes data gathering, data analysis, development of measurement tools, etc. This also includes involvement of people in advocacy, in evaluation, in communication, and then maybe many other ways for getting people involved according to the plan that you are going to elaborate. Next one. What is a participatory art initiative? It is a trans or interdisciplinary initiative, cross-sectorial and participatory, which lasts for 6 months, and it envisages the connection and the gathering and the operative actions of a team that is composed of people from different backgrounds, different expertise, different professional skills, who will be willing to go beyond their disciplinary boundaries and collaborate together across different disciplines, different sectors for a common purpose, for a common aim. So, of course, individual organization can apply, but we give preferences to consortia consisting of organizations from different sectors. And these are the different sectors includes the art, creativity, the science sector, and the citizen engagement one. Next, please. What kind of artistic and creative expression are we looking for? All artistic and creative expression are welcome. So we have a list of potential creative artistic expression, but this is not exhaustive in any way. So we may think about visual expression, painting, drawing, printmaking, sculpture, ceramic, photography, video, filmmaking, design, craft, architecture, or literary, prose, fiction, drama, poetry, or performing art with dance, drama, music, action art, street art, but also new media, digital art, fashion design, gaming, and whatever kind of artistic expression comes to your mind. So feel free to innovate. Next one. What is ocean literacy? We refer to ocean literacy as the understanding of how the ocean impacts individuals and society and how they impact the ocean on the other way around. This is related to the capability to recognize the ecosystem value provided by the ocean, to effectively communicate about it, and to make informed and responsible decisions about the ocean. Ocean literacy encompasses both the element of knowledge and awareness, the emotional attachment, and the change in attitudes and behavior. And of course, also the possibility to put this new knowledge into practice through action and communication. This means that ocean literacy is not solely an individual responsibility, but always entails collective understanding and action. So communities are required to be fully involved from the beginning to the end of the participatory art initiative. And the next one is the accelerator. So I leave the floor to Fran from Hapica for giving you an overview.
Okay, good morning to everybody. I'm Fran Iglesias from the ERICA Foundation, La Fura del Paus, and we hope to help you during your path during the accelerator if you finally succeed with the project. So, as Chiara was just saying, we offer more than money, so we will try to help us. We have a good consortium in the project with plenty of different expertise in different many areas that we consider very relevant for the projects and for this kind of pies. So we will try to help you during the whole process in order to give you ideas, support, mentoring. I don't like the idea of mentoring by sharing good practice, expertise in order to try to get the best from your idea to the final impact. So we plan different kind of support during the whole process with you, with a dedicated mentor that we will be from our side, and we will help you too during the whole thing. So it's important at the beginning that we offer the first bootcamp, the accelerator. We concentrate the actions in the beginning in order to put the basics for everybody and be ready to start with trying to empower you for getting the better impact, the better ocean literacy, the better artistic results, but also to help you to be compliant with this kind of projects that you know this is cascade funding, that we need to be also compliant with European Commission, with the project soul, let's say, and ideas and ambitions. So we help you during the whole thing. So don't get it as a mentoring idea, but we offer you our team to be part of your team and help you to do your best. Of course, we try to connect you with other networking opportunities and try to increase the impact, dissemination, and everything that we consider relevant. We consider because once you are selected, you are part of the team. So we can go next. There is 3 phases in the accelerator. The first one is concentrated at the beginning, where we help you in the ideation and conceptualization. Normally, there is a big or small step between the concept and the idea that you submit to the proposal, and then the final, let's say, implementation plan. This is the first phase for us. It's moving from the idea of your proposal in real, clear action plan, where to go. As you will know, 6 months is nearly nothing. I mean, it's super fast. So we need to speed up all these kind of things and have a clear plan at the beginning in order to be ready to do all the activities planned in your proposal. So in this first phase, we concentrate this bootcamp where we give you the basics for being ready, and we help you to create this first implementation plan that will be a bit more ambitious than the proposal you submit with the idea, and we will move, let's say, from idea to, let's say, implementation. Then the second phase that normally lasts for, let's say, it really depends on the project, but I would say around 4 months. That is where we help you on implementing the actions and taking care about the data that you gather from the participants, the kind of activities, the ideation of the activities, and all these kind of things. And the final, let's say, event that we concentrate with the final results, including also the demo day in Barcelona, that, as you know, you will have to come also to Barcelona to showcase the results you get locally and try to connect with other projects and try to increase your visibility. And at the same time, it will be something like an evaluation of the project, in order to really have the clear idea of what you have done and that you are compliant with that. So it's really important that you have to implement locally, of course, the project, but also you will have to showcase results in the demo day in Barcelona. It does not mean that you have to do everything, because we are assuming that this is not let's say, something that you can repeat in one day, but at least we will find a way to showcase it, the main results, the lessons learned, and everything in Barcelona. Okay. In the middle of the acceleration, also we will have also a midterm review. That this is something like to keep the track of what you have done and the potential problems, barriers, mitigation strategies, and everything, but also in order to be compliant with the commission and with the project path. Okay, this is not an exam, but this is an important part of the project, because we need to track all the details to see that we are in line, and if we have potential problems, we have time to solve them. Okay, next, please. And that's it from my side.
So I will be the presenter for the next part. I'm Antonella Passani, Head of Research and Partners at T6 Ecosystem. And we are in charge of the management of the calls, evaluation process, and impact assessment of the PIs once financially and supported. Before I start this part that is more like the technical part on the open call challenge, durability criteria, etc., I want to strongly stress that this webinar does not substitute the call documents. So now we have only 1 hour. We cannot go into all the details of the guide of applicants, but in the guide of applicants, you find everything that is needed to prepare your proposal. So please, please, please study it very carefully. Together with the guide of applicants, there are the FAQs that have more or less the same content, but sometimes more details and more in the kind of questions, so in question style. So study very carefully all this document, and then if you have any questions, if you are in doubt, you can always reach us on the website and this presentation. There is the help email reference. So let's start with the third open call. The title of the open call is Communities for a Sustainable and Equitable Blue Economy. What is the challenge? The challenge is the objective that your project has to reach. So yes, the overall objective is ocean literacy. Yes, is community engagement, is participation, etc. But for your proposal to be successful, you have to answer to this challenge, nothing else. You cannot do other things. It's a limitation of your freedom, but it's very, very important. Maybe we received fantastic project, but if the project are out of scope of the challenge, they will not be financed. So if you have a project on pollution, this is not the call for you. If it's a project on biodiversity, it's not your call, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't mean that these topics are not related to the challenge. Of course, they are. But you have to demonstrate that you are addressing this challenge. So we want projects that engage community in rethinking, reshaping a sustainable, resilient, and equitable blue economy. What do we mean with blue economy? Any economic activity relating to the ocean and the sea, or as well as river, lakes, other water system. So it covers a very broad range of sectors and activities, including, but again, not limited to fisheries, aquaculture, tourism, energy, transport, conservation, biotechnology, and water-based food system. So there are in the guide of applicants reference to the European Commission and the UN Ocean Decade, the definition of blue economy and blue sector and blue economy sectors that you can use as a reference. We are particularly welcoming proposals that take a whole system perspective, so that look at different aspects of the problem of how to make blue economy sustainable and equitable and just. That means we will prefer projects that take together the ecologic, economic, social, and cultural dimension of sustainability. That explore less known or overlooked aspect of the blue economy, including its environmental trade-off and social impacts, that investigate invisible or intangible, so carbon flow, social inequality, labor condition. We mention some of potential, let's say, aspect to be investigated, but you are the expert and you will surprise us with very innovative, creative, and deeply research-based projects. Communities are the center of our work, so projects that co-create new narrative, new methods, sensory experience that help communities in imaging, creating, and putting on in practice the sustainable water futures are, of course, of interest. Or projects that amplify local voices, especially those historically underrepresented in ocean governance. So the aspect of justice and equities and social inclusion are for sure relevant for our open call. Eligibility. Again, I repeat, this is just the summary. More eligibility criteria, full list is in the guide of applicants. So as we say, we welcome both individual and consortia. All the applicants must be established in a EU member state or associated country. There is a specific annex in the guide of applicants with the list of country that are associated, that changed recently, so please check it out. Entity from third countries may participate in the consortia but cannot lead the project because they cannot receive direct funding. Of course, entity that are subject to a EU restrictive measure under Article 29 of the Treaty of the European Union, except in Article 215, are not eligible. Again, this is a list that is constantly updated by the European Commission following the situation at world level. The project must be implemented in EU member state. We already received a couple of emails asking, is my country eligible? Please check the list in the annex. So it's true, in the second open call, there was a geographical restriction. Some country could participate, some other not. In this call, all EU member states are eligible. and associated countries. You can participate in only one application. You cannot do one as a partner, one as an individual, one as a consortium member. It's just one. So please check internally if your colleagues are doing the proposal, because this is especially relevant for large organization, university. Maybe you don't know another department is preparing a proposal, and that will create a problem during the evaluation. So do your best to check that your organization or legal entity is preparing only one application. Double funding is not allowed. What does it mean? You can build on top of projects that are ongoing. You can have complementary funds, but you cannot use the PartArt4OW and water funds for doing something that is already covered by other fundings. What does it mean? You have a project that do activities with fishermen for data gathering on plastic pollution. I don't know, something. You cannot put these activities in your proposal. You can build on top of that. You can use the data from this project to do something. You can create artistic expression on top of or something that you already have done, but you cannot pay 2 times the same activity, let's say. It's very important. If you have doubts about is this a double funding, reach out and we will solve it by email. Of course, if you won the first open call or the second open call of PartArt, we're sorry, but we cannot finance you. So, now, there are documents that you have to provide besides your application. So the application is your proposal. It's a 5-page document in which you describe your activities. Besides this, when you go in the submission platform, which is EasyChair, you will be asked to provide other documents. First of all, a letter of intent from an actor of the blue economy, because this is a call on blue economy, and we want to be sure that you are working with someone that is an economic actor in the blue economy. This letter of intent is for everybody, is compulsory, is an eligibility criteria. If you fail to provide it, your proposal will not be reviewed. So it will be just considered ineligible. Even if the economic actor is part of the consortium or even leading the consortium, we need this letter of intent. The same apply for the organization or institution that will host the project main event or final event. What does it mean? You say that in your proposal, you say that at the end of the project, you will have a fantastic festival in the main square of your town. Nice. We need the municipality to say that, yes, this is true. We will give the main square to this proposal because we support this proposal and we provide this venue for free for them, or not for free, whatever. Can be a museum, can be a university, can be whatever. Actually, it's up to you. But we need to be assured that you have an agreement, so you have the space. And this is for all. Then the third document is not for everybody, but is only for those proposals that rely on external to the consortium actors for citizen engagement. For example, you say that you will do activities in schools. We need a letter of intent of a school that say that really this is going to happen. Or you work with I don't know, a labor association, and you say that you will do activities in their premises with workers or with retired people in the retired community center. In this case, we need the letter of intent of this organization, but only if they are outside of the consortium. If you have this organization inside the consortium, we don't need the letter of intent. But in the proposal, you will explain in the team that their role is to provide access to students, to workers, to women, or whatever. Of course, all applications must be submitted by the deadline, 10th of March. Please do not wait for the last moment for the submission. The platform is a strong platform, it's a very efficient platform, but as every technology has its limitations. So slow down when everybody is trying to use it. So since you can always update your proposal, start working on the proposal and update draft well in advance. And please do not wait the 10th of March, 5 minutes before the deadline to click on submit, because there is the risk that it is delayed. And if the timestamp of your application is later than the time and deadline of the call, it will not be evaluated. It will be considered unacceptable, ineligible. There are some questions in the application. Please answer all of them. It's important and they're compulsory, so you should not miss it. Check it out. All the application must be accompanied by the declaration of honor of the legal entity, only of the coordinator. So not all the partners need to sign it, just the coordinator in case of consortia. If it is an individual, then the individual. Now, you submitted your proposal. You write a wonderful project. What's happened next? So here we summarize the process. So you read the guide for applicants and the FAQs. You download the application form, download the letter of intents, fill it in, have them signed by the legal representative, and then do the same for the declaration of honor. You go to the platform, write your proposal, answer all the questions, submit the proposal. In the project website, you find all the documents and also the access to the platform. Then we do an eligibility check. So we actually check that the proposal is in the countries that are eligible, that we have all the documents requested, etc. Then we move the application to 3 expert reviewers that will do the review of your project. Only the project that will be above the threshold of all the criteria and the overall threshold will be shortlisted. So we will make a list of the project in order of scores. After this, a certain number of applications, let's say, or teams, will be invited to the interviews. The criteria for the number of people to be invited to interview is to assure that we have enough application to assure the distribution of the budget for the 3rd open call. Overall should be more or less 3 times the number of projects that we aim to find, so 21. But it's depending of the budget that you are asking, the budget available, then the scores, the actual scores that we will have, the number of applications. So, but a certain number of projects will be interviewed by the PartArt4OW team. We will evaluate, let's say, we use the interview to go deeper into the proposals, to answer questions that maybe the reviewers have, or comments that the reviewer has, clarify what is in doubt, and then the higher ranking will be we will decide for the ones that are to be evaluated. I would like to stress that since this is the last call, we want to assure geographical diversity of our PIs. So in case of ex aequo, we will give priorities to proposals, to projects that will be implemented in countries that are non-represented or low represented in the 1st and 2nd cohort, so projects that we already financed. For the criteria of the evaluation, we have 3 criteria: relevance, quality, and impact. And as I said, each of these criteria has a threshold, and you have to be above the threshold. So if the threshold is, I'm going by memory, 15, in order to pass, you have to have 16. So you have to have a higher score than the threshold. For the application form, you can download from the project website. It's a doc file. At the beginning, you see this page that gives you all the instructions. There is a page limitation. There is a recommendation for which font to use, which is Arial, how big, so 11 points, the spacing, the margins. Why we are so strict on this, and we are strict on this. If you write a proposal in 5 pages, that is not easy, we know. It's a short space to answer all the points of the application form. And another one is playing with the margins, with the fonts in order to write an extra page. Then will be not fair to be considered, no, in the same at the same level of the other. So it's important that you use properly the application form. Otherwise, you risk to be defined ineligible again. So, Chiara, I go on this, or you want to? I think I can go on. So, you have only 5 pages. So, think about the words you are using, the sentence you're making. Be sure that your project is really clear. Put yourself in the mind of the reviewers. They have the criteria and they have to check boxes and say, okay, is it answering to the proposal, to the challenge, to the third open call challenge? They have to give an evaluation on this. So this need to be clear. Everything need to be very clear and to the point. So be direct. Read and read again the form and the guideline to be sure that you're answering all the requirements. The wording we use, what we ask, the questions that are in the form are there for a reason. So if we ask about the researcher, the research background or the scientific background, you have to provide a scientific background. So if you answer by proposing something else, or you are too vague and say, yeah, the scientific ground is assured by the fact that we have scientists in the consortium, is not sufficient. We really want to know what is the literature behind. So give us references, give us detail, let us know that you have it in mind when you start working. Be pragmatic, realistic, schematic, and logically coherent. So this is especially true for the work plan. We will do workshops. Okay, how many? When? How many participants? From which communities? Which groups will be engaged, etc. Which methodology you will use for the workshop? What will happen? What will actually happen? Or this is, I mean, I said workshop, but it can be whatever, no? So also a conference or a artistic production. Be structured and logic. So in the first months, in the second months, in the third month, this will happen, and then this will happen, and why? What is the relationship between what happened first and what happened later on? Important dates. You have it on the website. I will not go into details. In the guide of applicants, you also have the dates on when you will receive the information. You will receive information about your evaluation. We will provide you with the review comments and the scores, even if you succeed or even if you do not succeed. We indicated some deadlines for providing you. I anticipate this. It depends. Our capability to be aligned with this deadline depends a lot on the number of applications that we received. If we receive a very high number of applications, we may need a little bit more of time to create the report and send you the feedback of the reviewers. We will advise you. We will send you an email telling you that we are taking a little bit of time, blah, blah. Again, if you do not receive the information, or if you need extra clarification, you can come back to us. But the reviewer evaluation is the final one, and the decision that we take are the final one. And of course, there is also the financial aspect of the call. So this, I leave the floor to my colleagues of La Sapienza.
Yes. Thank you very much. So hi everyone, I'm Caterina Pozzobon and work with the Sapienza team. So my role today is to guide you through the financial aspects of the call, as in the submission process, you will be asked to prepare a first idea of budget. And this guidance can help you preparing it. So next, please. So first, let's see how much you can receive. So each pie can get up to 50,000 euros. So when you draft your budget, please don't ask for more, because this is the maximum amount we can give each pie. So in case of your project is selected, you will receive the money in 2 stages, 50% at the beginning, so by the first month, and 50% at the end. This means that you will have to advance some money, as you will receive the final installment only after the end of the 6 months accelerator. So this is something to keep in mind. The money you will receive is going to be as a lump sum. So if you can go to the next slide, please. Next, please. A lump sum is basically based on a budget estimate provided by each proposal, which will be evaluated in terms of accuracy and credibility against the proposed activities. So the amount of money you will ask will have to be credible and in line with your activities. The characteristic of this lump sum is that, sorry, we cannot see the slides anymore. Okay, now we can. So the specificity of the lump sum is that no financial report will be required from you, but you still have to keep the receipt and the justification of expenses for a period of 5 years in case the commission conducts an audit. So this is very important. Next, please. So here you can then find some general principles for eligible costs, which are the mandatory principles to keep in mind when managing and spending the money. So first of all, expenses have to be real, must fall within the 6 months duration of accelerator. All expenses must be put in the budget and has to be, of course, necessary for the implementation. All expenses have to be traceable, so you have to keep all the documents that can testify that you spend the money and how you spend it. All the costs must follow the appropriate legal frameworks. And finally, all the expenses, of course, have to be managed responsibly, aiming at efficient use of resources. Next. So now, just a quick overview on to what you can spend the money on. So let's look at the cost eligibility rules. So first of all, you can spend money on personnel costs, so salaries and similars. In the slide, you can see the typology of contracts and contributions you can fund with this type of eligible cost. You have subcontracting costs, which can be, of course, be funded with the money of the call, but subcontracting must be limited and must follow competitive market prices. So when you write your proposal, please be careful not to give too much to subcontracting and not to allocate the bigger tasks of the project to subcontracted actors, because this goes against our idea of pie. Next, you will also have purchase costs that include the travel and subsistence, which are totally fully recoverable and fully usable for with the funds you will receive. And then you will have equipment and renting, which you have to keep in mind that you cannot really charge the full cost of equipment and renting to the project, but only the part that corresponds to the time you actually use the item or the rented service for the project activities. So only depreciation costs can be covered please keep this in mind when you write and think about your proposal. Then you will also have other goods and services and internal invoices ones that are explained in the slide. Next one, please. Then we have the indirect costs these are all the costs that you will have to cover that are not part of the former categories and that have to be calculated as part of the total funding of 50K. So they are charged at a flat rate of 25% on eligible costs. And here in the slide, you can see an example of budget that you will have to prepare. So as you can see from each category, we have the overseen cost. For example, for personnel, we have 20,000, and then the related overheads, which is 25% of this cost, which results in a total of 25,000 euros. And this is just an example to help you calculate these overheads, which can be sometimes tricky to understand how to calculate. Next, please. There are also some costs that cannot be funded with the project funds, which is the deductible VAT. So any VAT that is recoverable under the national tax system cannot be charged to the project. So please keep in mind this when you prepare your budget. And next, please. Finally, you have, as I already mentioned before, you have to keep track of the expenses, because even though we will not ask for a detailed financial report at the end, because this is a lump sum, you still will have to keep all the receipts, all the tickets, the payroll records that can testify how you spend the money. So this is also very, very, very important to do when you implement the project. So I know I was very fast, but you can find all this information in the guide of applicants. And I will leave now the floor to my colleague Luca, that will talk about the contract that you will sign with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Hello, everybody. I'm Luca. I'm part of the Sapienza team too, and I present you briefly the contract you will see if you will be funded with the PartArt call. So next, please. As Fran said at the beginning, if you will win the selection and you will be funded, you will become automatically part of the consortium of the project. So you will be a third party within the project, which is a project funded by the European Commission. We have a grant agreement with the European Commission, and the contract you will see with us is based on that grant agreement. Basically, the contract will be between you, the PI, and us, the University of La Sapienza in Rome. And as I can skip all this part on the right, because Antonella already talked about it, it is about the eligibility criteria for countries. So please, next, please. Overall, the contract is composed of the reciprocal obligation we have among us, Sapienza, and you, the PI, the methods, requirements, and timing of payments, and some annexes. At this time, you can access the contract in the guide for applicant. If you go through the guide for applicant, you can see the contract and these annexes. Of course, the number of these annexes in the guide for applicants is not the same number you will find in the proper contract if you will sign it with us, but they have the same content. So please read carefully the contract in the guide for applicant. You can see it at the end almost. And so be aware of what you will see with us. So there are 20 articles. Please read them. At the end, in one annex, I will talk about this later, there are all the articles from the grant agreement on which the contract is based. So please read it carefully. And if you have some questions, ask them to us. And next, please. As already Fran said during the presentation of the accelerator, the third party have some obligation with us. The most important is that you have to prepare the implementation plan in the first month of the accelerator. This is part of the contract you have to sign with us, and then to receive the first to go on with the implementation of the project. But even more important, at the end of the project, you have to present the report of what you did during the 6 months. And based on this report, you will receive the second part of the payment after 1 month after you will send us the report. So please be aware about the fact that at the beginning, according to the contract, at the beginning of the project, you will receive half of the lump sum, and the second part will be sent to you if you properly implemented all the activities you described in the implementation plan and you reported them correctly at the end. Of course, there is also something regarding the ethicalities. When you will see in the contract, you agree with us that after you will send us the proposal to be implemented, our ethical advisor of the project, we have an ethical advisor in our consortium, will revise it. And please, when we will give you the suggestion Harry will give us, please integrate them. So there is also this how to say, reciprocal work we have to do together based on the contract you will see. Next, please. As I said before, the final report is a very important part of the contract because it is the, how to say, the proof you have worked well, and based on that, you will receive the second part of the payment. This is a small, how to say, synopsis of the report you will have to prepare, but be quiet. You will receive a template with all the skeleton of the report you have to prepare. So don't worry about that. You will receive it during the accelerator. Next, please. Is there next? Yes. These are the timing of the payments. If you will win, you will see in the contract with us in June 2026, and in 1 month, by the beginning of July 2026, when you have to start the proper implementation of the 6-month project, you will receive the first payment, this 50% of the total amount of the lump sum. At the midterm, after 3 months, you will have to do with us this midterm interview. Fran talked about that at the beginning, so I will not repeat it. You have to send us the final report of the project by the end of January 2027. That is 1 month after the end of the project, before the end of the first month after you will finish the project, and this is a binding deadline. Then after that, in 1 month, you will receive the other part of the payment if everything is reported correctly and you did perfect what you proposed to do, and so on. So please, the next one. I think I have some more time. Okay. In the contract, as I said before, there are some annexes. You can find them already in the guide for applicants, and they are very important. The first one is this. This is the form European Commission has that allow you to give us your bank details, to share with us your bank details to proceed with the payments. So please use this form to share with us those information. Next, please. Also in the contract, you have to sign a consent form with us to share better. You have to sign with us an agreement according to which you share with us your information, the information of the leader of the team, so that we can move on with all the communication activities and other stuff we have to do with for implementing the overall machine of PartArt. And this is legal because we have within the consortium we have a data sharing agreement, so we are allowed to share among us in the consortium your data, but please give us the consent to access them with this form, which is at the end of the contract. And next, please. Okay, as I said at the beginning of this small presentation, as a third annex in the contract you will see, which is not the third annex in the guide for applicants, you can access already now. There are all the articles from the grant agreement that we PartArt have seen with the European Commission, all the articles which are relevant for your contract. So these are the articles on which the contract is based, and it is, how to say, the skeleton, the juridical skeleton on which we prepare the contract for you. So please read them to be aware of what we did when writing the contract, why we did it, and so on. Of course, if you have questions, please ask them us. Finished. Thank you.
And indeed, this is time for the questions. Don't be shy, there are not stupid questions. Every question is the right question. We are here for you to answer your doubt.
Hello, it's Giulio from Villa Filanda Antonini. I have one simple question, like where we can check the previous projects that have been part of PartArt4OW
On the
in the
project
previous.
website. On the project website, there is a part dedicated to the accelerator in which you find all the project of the first cohort. The second cohort project will be online relatively soon.
Thank you very much.
They are finalizing the signature, so as soon as everything is in place, they will be. But to have an initial idea, go to the. No, you cannot go. The second open call was geographically bound to the Mediterranean, not all the Mediterranean, but let's say the west coast of Italy and then the coast of France and Spain to a certain point. So that part.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, I have a question. I have a question regarding the letters of intent. The first letter of intent you ask is from an ocean. I can't remember
Blue economy actor.
The blue economy actor. What are the blue economy actors?
Any company, association, research organization that work in one of the sector of the blue economy, which is fisheries, energy, research. There is a list. I show a list in the slide. There is a list in the guide of applicants, but basically it's the productive aspect of people working in the sea or with the water.
Can it be an academic, for example? Like yeah?
To a certain extent, yes, if it works in the blue economy sector, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, this is Anna from Barcelona. Adding to Julio's question, is there a chance to know only the countries of the second call projects?
Yeah, Italy and Spain.
Okay, thank you very much. And which percentage?
More Italy than Spain.
Thank you very much.
But let's say, if you look at the ones in the first call, you have already an idea of countries, and then yes, in the second call, Italy and Spain.
Thank you.
Jarek
Hello.
Okay, go.
Could I ask?
Eva Maria, go.
Thank you. I would be interested to learn more about what you had in mind in relation to the content of the project, this blue economy and art and communities interactions. For example, I'm a freelance artist living in Vienna, and I would like to do something about swimming and how swimming is also on these borders. For example, we have a lot of ship traffic in the Danube or in the Danube Channel, but more and more people now want to find a good coexisting of swimming, but also tourism ships and other ships that are in the Danube. So would this be an idea to have a collaborator from the tourism, from the ship industry for tourism,
and the local aquarium, for example. And we also have an institution, a scientific institution that is dealing with how sediments are getting moved in rivers, for example. That is quite exceptional, EU-wide or worldwide even. So I'm thinking about this kind of collaborators, and also one for the community aspect. We have a swimming club where we are dealing with this getting back the liquid public space, and this is always a topic with sharing the space with the ships, for example.
Eva Maria, unfortunately, we cannot give feedbacks on project ideas because this will be a little bit unfair, because people that is not here will not have, and all of you are 40 something people. This is a service that we cannot offer. Also, if you send us email saying, this is my idea, is it eligible, is this good? Also, because we are PartArt and we are part of the reviewer of the call, but we also have external reviewers. So it's their judgment also that, of course, go into place in front of an idea. But you have to ask yourself, is my project rethinking and reshaping a sustainable, resilient, and equitable tourism in Vienna River? If the answer is yes.
So
okay.
It's not in a more general sense. If I'm an artist, I don't need to make the economy stronger. I can also have a standing where we want it all together, but it's not me that I'm like the marketing office for, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't have to be the economic actor, but if you do something about tourism and you are not talking with the tourist actors, you are creating a project that is based on your own idea and is not rooted in the situation. Because maybe make an example from another project. We have a project that works on noise pollution in the north from the point of view of the whales. Of course, for the whales, tourism is not nice. But if you shut down the tourist sector in that area, the local community will be also affected negatively. You have to find maybe an alternative, or you have to be considerate of what are they using, which kind of boats are they using for going out, which kind of, how many, in which hours, in which months, because they do not have the same impact on whales, no? So we need to have the economic actors so that they can tell you, yeah, okay, you perceived this problem, but from our point of view, the problem you perceived is this, and that, and the community, how they perceive the problem. And you have to have this kind of dialogue in order to go in depth and not have a general a general approach in which we say just like, we want the river to be clean, we want the people to be empowered to use the river, because this is we all want, but how do you do that? You have to develop something that is based on knowledge of the actors that are working in there.
Okay, I see. So it's what I'm saying also is like there should be good communication of all the actors, science, art, and economy. But it's enough to have this insight, but I don't need to be an economic actor or only take this view, for example.
No. But when we say art, creativity, science, and citizen engagement, in this kind, we also have blue economy actors, we really want to see this relationship as an equal relation. The artists do not need to be like the embellishment of science, so the beautifying actors of science, but cannot be not rooted in science.
Makes sense.
We really want to help these sectors that are normally working in separated silos to really meet. And of course, it's not easy because the culture of science, economy, and art, the way of working, the way of expressing and communicating are different. So interdisciplinarity is not easy, and it's not something that is built in one day, but we really want to see the effort in going there and the interest in starting a conversation that then lead to something innovative.
Thank you very much. It's also the most sustainable way to deal in all three, I think, like
yeah, we need to talk more.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay.
So Jarek is asking, could second part of the consortium, I'm an artist, could the second part of the consortium be Institute of Oceanology of Polish Science Academy? It depends a bit what they do, but yeah.
Hello, I'm Adrianos, I'm from Greece. This is a very interesting initiative, first of all. I have a bit of a question about I think it was Fran that said about the phases of the project, and that the first phase is like an ideation conceptualization phase. And then it was also mentioned that initially there's like a stage of negotiation of forming the project. What I want to ask is basically how detailed do you want the project proposal? And should we say that, okay, this is the consortium, this is like the general topic that we want to work on, and then we will have an ideation phase where we will actually make it more specific?
No. The proposal need to be specific, need to be super detailed. And then we sit down and say, okay, you say that you have like 10 workshops with 100 people, each of them in 2 months, and say, maybe it's a little too much. Let's do this, let's do that. Or maybe you can merge. It's this kind of conversation that we have. It's not like, okay, we will do workshop and then you sit down and say, okay, let's decide. No, the proposal need to be like ready to go because we only have 6 months. So
yeah,
it has to be detailed.
Yeah, the thing is that it should be enough detailed in order to be evaluated. So we need methodology, we need impact, we need everything. But then during the first month, we just fine tune the things and we have more, let's say, extra space to detail logistics, processes and everything. It's in a way to try to transfer from this kind of main idea with details. I mean, with the kind of methodology, the innovation that you have, but then we just put it on a calendar that sometimes it's a bit tricky. And as Antonella was saying, so you cannot do 20 workshops in 1 week. It's not realistic. So maybe we can, this is the kind of things that we
probably will not pass the review in any case because the reviewer will say, okay, this is not realistic plan, but this is the logic. Maria is asking, can the participatory element be just in the research and development part of the project and the final output being something like a fiction film or a sculpture? Again, this is really difficult to answer, but because we do want to influence your creative process. But since engagement is one of the things that reviewer will look at, no? So the more the people is engaged, the better. This is the only thing I would say. It's not that they have to be engaged in all the phases, but let's say it's more, besides the activities, it's more the kind of ethos, the kind of role that you give to them. So if they are listening to lessons, if they are participating in presentation, if they are passive, let's say, actors of training or of activities, this is not enough for sure. So we think that artistic knowledge is important. We think that scientific knowledge is important, but we also think that people have knowledge that is relevant to be considered and to be put up, shared, structured, empowered, and put together with the other kind of knowledge. No, so be careful. Like, for example, doing interviews of people in the street and making a video out of that for us will not be considered participatory. Yes, they are sharing their view, but it's like, how much? 10 minutes, 15 minutes in which they talk, and then you're taking their voices and you're putting in a video. This is not participation, it's really extractivism. So this is the point. Is a Thai artist based in the UK eligible? If the project is implemented in the UK, yes. If it's implemented in Thailand, I think no. But I have to check. Send us an email and we check, because what it means that is based is like based that is for 6 months is in UK, or is a short resident of the UK. Send us an email so we can, with more details, so we can investigate better. Thanks.
Hey, here from Barcelona again. If a third country is involved, let's say there is a participatory creation, and from that country, some participants, they will produce some sculptures, let's say something as example. And then those sculptures will be part of the final event in an EU country. Is that correct, or it's not
implementation? The implementation must be in the European and associated countries. I'm trying to find, yeah. So it's more that you have an artist that, no, I'm finding an example, but could be trivial, could be misleading. No, so the implementation must be in the EU and associated country.
Oh, I wanted to ask something as well. Do the work has to be new, or if you have a project that is not funded, but it has to do with all that you are asking for, could it be eligible?
Yeah, absolutely. Fran, we need the time for the matchmaking. So, Chiara, what do you think, Chiara and Fran? Should we give one more question and then we move to the matchmaking?
Okay, for me.
Okay, last question. Of course, you can send us email. But if you have one more questions, happy to answer. Please, can the slide be shared following this session? We share the recording of the session on the project website, not the slide, I'm afraid.
I think we can probably move to the matchmaking session now.
Ran, tell us how it works.
Yeah, so as you know, the matchmaking session is not mandatory, so we will stop recording. Marina, please.